Good evening, and thank you for coming to the League of Women Voters of Houston's ballot breakdown event for the November 2025 election. The League of Women Voters of Houston are proud to showcase our voters' guide for the November 2025 election. For over 100 years, we have been helping people vote in Houston, and we register new voters to provide civic education at high schools, create nonpartisan voter guides, and advocate for voting rights in Texas. Whether it is election season or not, League of Women Voters of Houston is in the community providing resources to ensure everyone is represented in our democracy. Tonight's presenters will be presenting ourselves, and I will start with myself. I am Antoinette Locks. I am a board member of the League of Women Voters of Houston, as well as a VP of Membership and Development. One reason why I chose to be a part of this organization is to ensure that I make an impact in the community in which I live, which is CD 18, and to educate residents in the power to vote. With that, I will turn it over to Irene to make her own introduction.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Irene Nunez, or Irene Nunez, and I serve as VP of Public Relations and Marketing and Communications. I am professionally the Director of Communications for the Harris County Clerk's Office, providing everyone all of the information, materials, and assistance that they need to be able to access the voting process. And that is why I chose to become a part of the League of Women Voters Houston because of that mission. And that's something that I believe not only for work, but also outside of work. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good evening to all of you. My name is Sylvia Mitchell. I am also a League of Women Voters board member, and I am also a part of the Membership and Development Committee. And I joined this organization because, like the two other members have stated, I too want to empower others in the community so that they understand the power of being a voter. It absolutely has the ability to change communities. Professionally, I am a 25-year educator and have served scholars and also served as a former superintendent of schools. I'm excited to be here tonight and excited to welcome all of you.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Adrian Isaguirre. I'm the Interim Texas Director of Civic Engagement with Naleo Educational Fund and a very close ally to the team here at the League of Women Voters of Houston. I'm happy to be here alongside our lovely co-presenters and our friends at the League to be able to continue our mission, which is to make sure that everyone is educated and informed about elections. Naleo Educational Fund is the holder and operator of the Spanish arm of the 866 Our Vote hotline, which is 888 Ve y Vota. And our mission is to facilitate full Latino participation in the American political process, which ranges from citizenship, those newly naturalized new voters for the first time in our country, to public service. So I'm happy to be here alongside. And with that, I will pass it right back to Antoinette.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's talk about our voters guide. So our November voters guide is your free nonpartisan guide to proposed laws and candidates running in Houston. It is compiled by the board, staff, and volunteers of the League of Women Voters of Houston. We usually cover the national, state, and local elections, but with this election, there are no national races. So right now we have currently maybe a little bit over 10,000 or less physical copies printed in English and a PDF version in English and Spanish, free to print or share. So let's talk about now breaking down or knowing the ballot. So the purpose of this meeting tonight is to break down the ballot from constitutional amendments to your local school board elections. The more you know, the better prepared you are to vote. After our presentation tonight, there'll be a small Q&A after our presentation. So without further ado, let's start.
All right, let's get into it. The Texas Constitution. There are 17 proposed constitutional amendments this election cycle. The current version of the Texas Constitution was written 1876. That's right, 1876. It's been a while, and has been amended over 500 times. Why so many amendments? Good question. Our Constitution limits the types of changes state lawmakers can make to laws. The Texas legislature is the only body that can propose amendments to our state constitution. What does that mean? Well, in order for there to be changes to the Texas Constitution, there has to be those proposed amendments, and they must pass both houses and both houses of legislature by a 2/3 majority. And then, that's why we're all here, they have to be approved by a majority of Texas voters. So unlike many other states, the Texas Constitution cannot be amended by citizen-led ballot initiatives, referendums, or petitions. Voting on amendments gives you the direct voice on your state government and the Texas Constitution. Oh, Antoinette, you are muted.
My apologies. So the League of Women Voters of Texas have already published their videos covering the proposed state constitutional amendments. You can watch the videos on the 17 proposed amendments that break down what you will be voting on. Irene would now also talk to us about proposed amendments 1 and 16 to let you all know a little bit more.
All right. So proposed Texas Constitutional Amendment 1. So in layman's terms, the Texas State Technical College System was established in 1965, and it provides technical vocational education. Currently, it has 11 colleges across the state and offers 2-year degrees and certificates in technical and vocational areas. 11,436 students attended Texas State Technical College from 2023 to 2024. If this proposed amendment were passed, it would use $52 million to create a permanent fund to support the TSTC. Earnings from this fund will be used for capital projects such as buying land, building, and equipment, to supporting the educational programs offered by these colleges. So arguments for this amendment would be it provides a reliable source of funding for Texas State Technical Colleges. This fund would support a skilled workforce, which is needed by Texas businesses and industries. Third, a healthy technical college system helps Texans who desire a career in these fields. So arguments against this amendment are this money could be used to fund community colleges across Texas, which already provide 2-year degrees and certificates and serve as many as 700,000 students per year. Businesses should pay their own job training and certificates. And thirdly, money for the permanent fund should be returned to the taxpayers. So next, let's talk about proposed Texas constitutional amendment. Man, that's a mouthful. 16. The Texas Constitution does not explicitly state that non-citizens cannot vote in state or local elections. However, to vote in state and local elections, you must be a registered voter, and to register, you must be a citizen. So arguments for this amendment. Those in favor of this proposition are concerned that some states allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. This amendment would prevent Texas counties and cities from allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections. And adding this amendment to the Constitution would make it difficult to change in the future. Now, arguments against this amendment are This amendment is unnecessary because non-citizen voting is extremely rare and already illegal in Texas. And citizenship is already required for voter registration and is verified by state and local procedures.
Thank you, Irene. So let's move on with the Harris County ballot. So as we all know, Harris County and the surrounding area has many local elections to go over. We are very, very excited to be covering such a wide field. The following slides will go over each race and explain what each official will be doing in our community.
And jumping right into it, we'll go into U.S. Congressional District 18. A U.S. representative is elected to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives, where they help create federal laws that affect the entire country. They represent their district by listening to the concerns of people in their community and speaking on their behalf in Congress. A U.S. representative votes on national issues like healthcare, the economy, and national security. They also work on the federal budget to decide how tax dollars are spent. Representatives serve on committees that focus on different areas like education or foreign policy. They are elected for 2-year terms, no limit to the number of terms in which they can serve. This is very important to note, given that there's been so much that has happened in this past year regarding Congressional District 18, which has gone without representation in Congress for approximately 7 months. And voters should be mindful and aware after redistricting has taken place. And as a resident of Congressional District 18, I understand that this brings a lot of questions and concerns for people, as well as it will whenever they have to prepare to go to the ballot box. So voters, again, should be mindful and aware about redistricting lines as they go and prepare for voting on Congressional District 18. Now, there is a special note that the special general election for Congressional District 18 will be held in November 4th. And under Texas law, if no candidate receives a majority of the vote, the top 2 vote getters will advance to the runoff election.
Sylvia, are you
Sylvia,
muted?
you're
Sorry.
muted.
I am so sorry about that. So jumping right into the City of Houston City Council at large. So first and foremost, the City Council is Houston's legislative body. So members enact and enforce all ordinances and resolutions. They adopt the annual budget and they confirm the mayor's appointments. They are also responsible for the appropriation and issuance of bonds, awarding contracts, and the approval of expenditures over $50,000. Council members are limited to serving 2 4-year terms.
All right. The City of Bel Air, Mayor. The mayor serves as one of the elected leaders of the City of Bel Air, working together with City Council to set the agenda and policy for the city. The mayor presides over council meetings, helps guide city properties, and represents the community, and works with the city manager who handles daily operations. Bel Air's mayor is elected citywide for a 2-year term, with a limit of 4 consecutive terms. There is one candidate running unopposed, Gus E. Papas. All right. City of Bel Air City Council member. The Bel Air City Council, made up of 6 at-large members and the mayor, serve as the city's legislative body. Council members set local policy, pass ordinances, and approve the budget, and as well as overseeing other city services while the city manager handles daily operations. Members serve 4-year terms with term limits. Their decisions directly shape Bel Air's community and quality of life.
Now let's talk about the Harris County ballot for Houston City College trustee. The Houston City College, which is formerly known as Houston Community College, Board of Trustees is HCC's governing body. Duties include establishing HCC policy and appointing the chancellor. The 9 board members are elected from single geographic districts for staggered 6-year terms with no term limits and serve without pay.
And now we make a transition to school district elections. The Aldine Independent School District Board of Trustees is AISD's governing body. Duties include establishing AISD policy and goals, monitoring success, adopting a budget, and setting a tax rate, and appointing the school superintendent. Board members are elected at large by all voters in AISD for staggered 4-year terms with no term limits and serve without pay.
Okay, moving over to the Houston ISD Board of Trustees. So the Houston Independent School District Board of Education is HISD's governing body. Duties include establishing the HISD policy and also appointing the school superintendent. The 9 board members are elected from a single geographic district for staggered 4-year terms with no term limits and serve without pay. Beginning June of 2023, HISD has been managed by a state-appointed board. Until the Texas Education Agency Commissioner lifts the Houston ISD from state-appointed control, elected trustees cannot make and set policy. They cannot adopt budgets, nor can they vote on contracts while this intervention is in place.
All right, well, thank you all, the presenters. Thank you again so much for listening to our presentation on your local ballot for the November 2025 election. So right now is the perfect moment to ask any questions that you may have to our expert panel about this upcoming election, anything on voting or whatever you would like to know. So we're going to open the floor for questions. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Any questions? Okay, so being it looks like we have no questions at this time.
All right, seeing no questions at this time, we just want to give everyone a friendly reminder that early voting begins on October 20th and will run through November, our October 31st, excuse me, and election day will be on November 4th. Voting is set to take place from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., except on Sunday, where voting will begin at 12 p.m. Election information and planning, your vote can be found at houstonvoterguides.org. And if you have any questions or concerns while going out to vote or on election day, you can call 866-R-VOTE, which the number is 866-687-8683 for English assistance, or you can call 888-VEYVOTA, which is 888-839-8682 for Spanish assistance.
Okay, well, thank you, Adrian, again, and thank you, my panel presenters, as well as all of our guests tonight. Again, thank you for coming to our ballot breakdown presentation. We do We appreciate you coming to learn more about this upcoming November 2025 election. We are always here if you have any questions about the Houston area elections, voter registration, or etc. Again, thank you for joining us, and everyone have a wonderful evening.